Hello, whoever you are. This is day 7 of the cruise, I believe. Um, or perhaps day 8, actually. Getting to the stage where it's hard to keep track. In any case, I'll need to start off by talking about something that happened the previous day. I forgot to mention when we were in Tromsø that we went to a church. Again, like the one in Aldo, it was a more newly built church. And this one, rather than being like a swirly circle, it was more just a big triangle. Well, triangular prism, I guess. The the tour guide described it as being similar look to the Sydney Opera House. There was a bit of a stretch. Perhaps you could argue it was similar looking to like one segment of the Sydney Opera House, if none of it was curved. But anyway, I mean, I thought the church looked fine. In terms of the interior, it had a big stain. The stained glass was, nice stained glass at the back. Interesting. The stained glass had a picture of like Jesus in the crucified position, but with no cross, kind of like the statue of the church in Alda, um, being of Jesus in the crucified position, but not crucified. But anyway, um, not much else to say about the church really. So let's get on to today. So today we were at sea all day, so no destinations. In terms of things done on the ship, in the morning like when we went to a talk done by sort of the entertainment manager of the ship, interviewing the captain of the ship, asking about his career and stuff like that. I will say the entertainment manager was a pretty good questioner, was able to go in depth. The captain was mostly good at answering, though uh, wasn't a particularly enthusiastic speaker, which I guess makes sense because talking to the public isn't really his job. His job is to captain a ship. I find it kind of funny when the guy asked when the interviewer asked what his job mostly consists of. He basically just said meetings, which I was kind of funny because it just kind of sums up um, what any manager's job is basically. Um, and yeah, aside from that, some more sights. We passed by, so we saw the Seven Sisters again on the other side of the ship. Now that we're going south along the Norwegian coast, um, and yeah. So, in terms of what else we did today, they showed a film today called the Fall Guy, um, and in regards to that film, I thought it was good for the most part. There were things, and like the plot of the film is about a stunt double who has to figure out what happened to the actor he's stunt doubling before, who's disappeared, and you know there's a lot of stunts in the film, which makes sense, and the stunts were good for the stunts were pretty good, which you'd hope in a film centered entirely around a stunt guy. In terms of the plot, it was fine for the most part. There were some things throughout the film where I thought that doesn't make much sense, but whatever, it was it was entertaining overall. Um, and in terms of what else we did today, there was I thought going into it, it was meant to be a magician. Turns out it wasn't entirely a magician. He was more a stand-up comedian who did a bit of magic. I'd have liked some more magic. The magic he did was, it was mostly basic. I mean, there was some more impressive stuff in there, especially towards the end. Yeah. So and the magic, he executed it fine. In terms of the comedy, well, the comedy was, yeah, it was, it certainly got a few laughs out of me. The style was a bit, adult and a bit edgy, so I imagine, you know, it would have been like some people liked it, some people wouldn't have. Um, yeah, I mean, I will say the idea of having stand up mixed with magic, it is a good idea in concept because a lot of magic tricks are about misdirection and you're sort of doing the real magic while you're just talking to the audience and making jokes or whatever while you're doing your sort of sleight of hand while no one's noticing. So I certainly thought it was a good concept. Um, yeah, that's it for the that's for the magic show. What else did I note? The food. again, not to say about the food. A lot of a lot of the food I'm getting, sort of eating the same thing. Like for example, when I go, the breakfast and lunches are generally the same stuff. The dinner's more unique because of the restaurant we go to the evening has different meals every evening. So the only unique thing to say about today in regards to the food was we got a dessert that was sort of a sundae with churros, and it was good. Although the churros were somewhat disappointing. They weren't churro enough. Basically, they weren't really crispy, which was a shame. But the dessert was fine overall. And yeah, that basically covers everything about today.